إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العظيم. Okay, so thank you much for attending the midnight class. Okay, I think this is the highest turn up, 63, I think. We are combining section 1 and section 3. Hopefully, just a brief not meeting, just to highlight briefly about the format of the exam, of our final exam, because we don't have, good time to discuss that. So now I think the best time is tonight. So hopefully it will clarify your maybe some say confusion, some say uh, uncertainty, some say question, some say doubt. Okay, so you can jot down if you wish. Okay, so I'm not sure when will we our exam. Arif, when will our exam?
Yes, February.
When? When is our exam?
82.
Wednesday or Tuesday?
Sorry? 62? 82?
82, doktor.
82. 82. Oh, Wednesday. Okay, don't forget the date and the time. So Wednesday, 82, 2:30. Okay, 2:30. So it's the time for our exam, inshallah. So now briefly about our exam format or the question format. Firstly, the paper will be 2.5 hours, inshallah. Okay, 2.5 hours. And then the question will be divided into two sections, section A and section B. And section A will be the MCQ, multiple choice question. Okay, so this is the easiest, I think. Hopefully, the easiest question because answers are given. So you just choose, not say the best. So you choose the answer that fits the question, it suit the question. Okay, so section A have to answer all question, 20 marks. And then so each 20 marks, you will be given in each question. There are four choices of answer, A, B, C, D. Okay, according to the question here, some very long statement, long questions with very short answer. Okay, some very short question with a long answer. Okay, some with given three correct answer. So except one which is not correct. So these are the style of the MCQ or multiple choice questions. So rather there are 20 questions. So meaning that this is 20 marks. And then so you have to answer all questions. So I'm looking at the question actually. So the question here, I think this is combination, a combination of ideas or suggestion from 3 lecturers, okay, who taught this course in this semester 1, Dr. Azam, Dr. Suzana, and myself. So this is the questions that we agreed, okay, for the final exam. So for the multiple choice question, for the MCQ, the 20 questions, so it covers I think most of our course content, okay, most of our course content. So I can highlight or give you the specific topic to study for the multiple choice question, because it covers almost all content. So selawat lah, jawab lah mana yang betul. Okay. So what I would like to hint, maybe the question here, you have the KBSR, KBSM, you had the NEP, PIPP, apa lagi ni, Education Plan 1970, New Economic Policy, semua ada. Okay, all the 20 question here, Daozong. Yeah. Okay, Daozong. Okay, now here. And then that's section A. For section B, you have to answer 2 questions. Okay, you have to answer 2 questions, and then each question will be given 10 marks. Okay, 10 marks, and then so 2 questions, 2 marks, or 10% or 20%. So the questions here, what I can inform you, the questions here, 1, 2, 3, mostly, okay, most of the questions have 3 layers. Okay, 3 layers. Example, the first one is the concept of the topic. Okay, concept of the topic, for example, like philosophy, for example, national philosophy of education. So you should know what is NPE. Okay, there's the concept. And secondly, the second layers here, and then maybe the significant. Okay, the significant to education system, for example. Okay, so and then the third layer here, the practice. Okay, the application of the philosophy in the teaching and learning, for example. So don't forget, our paper, our course is focusing on philosophy. So meaning that all the questions here that you have or you will answer should have the philosophical scenario, okay, philosophical idea, okay, philosophical niche. Okay, so I have informed you many times. So in our course, that when we see NPE, National Philosophy of Education, Falsafah Pendidikan Kebangsaan, FPK, so the component that we highlighted, that we studied, that we presented is Jaisah. Okay, jasmani, emosi, rohani, intelek, sosialisasi, adab, civilization, and hamba Allah or Khalifatullah. Mode 4 must be 7. Okay, Jarisa. And then, so if you want to get the, not to say comprehensive, but a lot of point regarding the National Philosophy of Education or FPK, you can refer to the questionnaire that I gave you that you have to fill in. So in every dimension, for example, just money. So there are 10 items. Okay. And then emotion, also 10 items. So the items under each dimension, okay, the items in the questionnaire under each dimension, that is the what? That is the explanation. Okay, that is the explanation of the dimension. Okay, and that is the niche. That is the content or the main point under each dimension. So have you gone through? So after this session, maybe you can go through the questionnaire, and then so you can see the items, dimension and items, and also how it's significant, how it's important in our education system. Because as what we learn, is what we have presented. So every component, okay, should relate to the objective or the of education, especially related to NPE, for example, balanced and harmonious, insan sejahtera kan, yeah, okay. So what mean by sejahtera? That means so the sejahtera in sejahtera, those who acquire or achieve the 7 component of philosophy of education, and then how this philosophy can be practiced. As one example, okay, how, okay, maybe through curriculum, that being formal in the teaching and learning. So how you can practice that in the teaching and learning of specific subject, okay, or maybe the co-curriculum, how to develop, let's say, balanced and harmonious personality or leadership personality of a student in co-curriculum, for example. So you have to be more specific, okay? So you don't have to describe very long. Just based what have to be based on the question. And then so next you have to maybe you can focus on the new economic policy. Okay, new economic policy, dasar ekonomi baru. Don't confuse. Okay, the NPE and the NEP. Okay, the new economic policy is NEP, but for national philosophy is NPE. Okay, so for the new economic policy 1970 to 1990, that was the can be said that is the turning point or starting point of the development or the great contribution or great development by the government to ensure that the Malays and the Putra especially would be enhanced in the achievement in the professional area. So of course this NEP is under economic program, economic agenda, economic development, but the government had the initiative to achieve this economic aim, economic target through education. Okay, through education. So what are the project? What are the program? What are the steps? What are the strategies? Okay, in educations being implemented, practiced by the government to make sure that the Bumi Putra would achieve the objective or aim of the NEP. And aim is what? There are two main aims. One is, the first one is the eradication of poverty, menghapuskan kemiskinan, and the second one is what? The social structure, yeah, menyusun semula masyarakat, yeah, meaning that menyusun semula masyarakat, because before this, as you discussed, as you presented, before independent especially, and before 1917 specifically, before 1969 tragedy, the ethnic in Malaysia were identified, were recognized by their, firstly, by their locality. Okay, secondly, by their occupation. When we say kampung, must be Melayu, Malay. Bandar, Chinese. Estate, Indian. That is called the polarization of the ethnic in Malaysia. Secondly, when say economic, Toke mesti Cina. Okay, Toke mesti Cina. Big economic sectors must be Chinese. Smallholders, paddy planters, smallholders of rubber, and also the paddy, also the coconut, for example, penanam kecil-kecil itu, all Malays. And then the estate workers, all Indian. So these are the two sectors and the new economic policy. And then the government try to call that reform. Okay, reform this type of polarization and the economic policy. And that was, we can say that the effective mechanism was, through education. And then you can see, can discuss among your friend, whether it's successful or not. So it's successful. What are the sectors? What are the achievements that being achieved in this plan? Okay, so if not successful, so why you said did not succeed, and what are the reason, and what are the sectors that we could not achieve as targeted in the new economic policy. Okay, that's the new economic policy. So, and then number three, you can focus on the. This is also the niche of our subject. That is the secularization, secularization. Okay, secularism, dualism. Okay, that's to be focused on. So we are practicing the integrated curriculum into integrated education. Yeah, bersepadu, as we have mentioned, stated many times in our class. Our practice of education is integrated, meaning that we are combining the fardu ain and fardu kifayah. Okay, reveal knowledge and human knowledge. Okay, this is integrated, but for secularism, they are separating between religion and economy, religion and politics, religion and education. This actually happened during the dark age of Europe. Okay, during the dark age of Europe, the Roman Empire was ruled by the priests, by the church, okay, by the church to strengthen the power of the church, the power of the priests, okay, all activities, okay, all activities, economic, political, social, religious, all controlled by the church, okay. So the commoners, especially the professional, engineer, lawyer, teachers, they did not get what they're supposed to get. I mean, there was no way that the professional to become real professional because everything controlled by the church, by the priests. So finally, okay, there was a revolution to to act against the church, and then finally the revolution, which was led and participated by the professional engineers, lawyers, teachers, lecturers in this revolution. So finally, they managed to overthrow the called the rule of the church, and then they practice the policy that should be separation between the church and the what and the administration, okay, between the priest and the professional, between the religion and also daily activities. That is secularism. That was the history. Okay, that's secularism. So, in other words, we can say dualism, a separation between religion, uh, education system, religious education system, and science education system. That is called dualism. Okay, so what we are practicing now are the integrated curriculum. So it's against secularism, it's against dualism. Okay, for example, like in science school, for example, so the student are offered to take science, pure science, and also Sharia and Usuluddin. SBPI, for example, pure science plus Sharia, for example, SMKA, Sharia plus economic. So it's called the what? They're called the integrated curriculum, combining religious subject with what? With the professional subject. Okay, this is the integration. So, mean that to certain extent, the education in Malaysia are quite integrated. Of course, not 100% yet, because, for example, like in our university, okay, for example, as I've told you many times, the IPTA, for example, Malaysia University, government university or public university, there are 20. Okay, so only 4 or 5 uh, practicing the integrated curriculum, meaning that the curriculum referred okay to the Islamic sources and also the Western sources. So they combine these two, Fardu Ain and Fardu. For example, we in education, even we are in TESOL, for example, English, we still have the what Islamic component, Islamic element, Islamic courses in our TESOL program. TESOL, for example, so Arabic, and then and also we have the psychology, for example, sociology. So in engineering, for example, so they learn both from Western sources and also Islamic sources. So all the 14 faculties, 14 kuliah in IIUM call that they are practicing the integrated curriculum. That is actually the Islamic curriculum. So IIUM, maybe second USIM, third one maybe UNIZA, we do so the fourth one. Okay, so these are called the secularism and dualism in education in Malaysia, which was formerly when we are studying in major school. So we will study Fardu Ain per se. When we are studying in science school, okay, science subject only. Okay, that was previously. That is called the setting or the principle or the practice of secularism or dualism. Dual means dual. Okay, two separate means principle, two separate nature of knowledge. Okay, so one more topic that you can focus is on the called the current issue on globalization. Okay, globalization. So you have to define what is globalization, and of course, from both perspectives, I've assumed to you when we are defining a term, a policy, philosophy, we should firstly refer to the origin of the word, and then secondly, from what from the language that we are using, English, Arabic, and also from the local language. Okay, so you should have four, four type of definition for in every term. Okay, for example, like globalization. So the West, they have their own, perspective. They have their own agenda. They have their own explanation. But when we refer to the broad meaning, so we can refer also to the globalization, which was established during Khalifah Umar al-Khattab and also during Osmaniyah in 1400. Because at that time, the world was controlled, was ruled by the Muslim rulers, Muslim empire. So you have this dimension. Okay, and then so maybe one of the challenges in globalization, maybe the called that the what? The commodification. Okay, commodification means education become commodity. Okay, education become commodity. That means you can buy, can sell. So maybe one of the big implication of the communication of education, like the rise of uh, fees. Okay, and then also the exclusion. Okay, the exclusion of non-economic or non-profitable subject. Okay, as we can see in the private colleges, private universities, for example, so they don't need to teach Islamic studies, Sharia, for example, Muamalat, for example, Quran, Hadith, moral, because for them, those subjects do not give any economic mileage. They do not give any profit. Those, subject or that religious subject for them are not relevant to the development of the present world, the development of the term globalization. So you can see the pro and con. So I think even the word communication not necessarily give negative impact, the most important here, who own this commodification, who own the institution. So, for example, like Al-Amin, for example, a small school. Al-Amin, quite is big number of school under Al-Amin. So, because Al-Amin is owned by a Muslim, uh, professional, and also Muslim teachers, so Muslim businessmen. So the content, content are still relevant or related to Fardu Ain, related to Islam. So what I would like to highlight here, the main issue here, who own the institution? For example, like we have the university under states, university under state, no, the IPTS, Kuis, Selangor, USAS, Perak, Unisam, Kedah, KU, apa lagi, KTD, Kelantan, KIPSAS, Pahang. So those are private colleges, and quote unquote they are practicing commodification, but the owners are Muslims, so they have the guideline, the practices which are relevant to Islam, to Islamic law, to Islamic economy, to Islamic politics, to Islamic Sharia. So these are the issues. We cannot see, or we cannot discuss, or we cannot bias in our perspective. For example, like communication, of course, the term is invented by the West. So they have their own agenda. So the most important thing here, how we can maybe maneuver or manipulate or can improve. More importantly, can improve the situation, and how to improve that. That is the most important. Okay, any questions so far? Almost 12 o'clock now. Special midnight class. So I have highlighted, I think, 4 topics here. So I think that's more than enough, because you need to answer 2. You can. I believe that you have read a lot. So I think for me, what you have read, all useful or relevant, but the most important thing here, how you could relate what you have read to answer the questions, to justify the point that you choose to answer the question. All relevant. So make sure that your point that you highlighted must be justified academically. Must be academically, as I told you just now. For example, like commodification, for example. So in certain perspectives, it's negative. But how? Or is there any is there any positive element in this commodification? Of course, secularism, for example, that's really negative. So, you describe what are all the practices under secularism, and then how you can improve. How you can improve from the Islamic perspective, which is more integrated, which is more comprehensive. Yes, any question here? Nate Suryani here, any question? Brother Arif here, so many good attendant full. Any question? No question. Brother Arif, any question? Why is any question? Why all silent?
No question, Doctor.
Hmm?
No, Doctor.
Okay, are you following me?
Yes.
Hello.
The,
Doctor.
Yes.
Okay, good. Jarisa, third element under each dimension of Jarisa. Okay. Of course, just state briefly. Don't. Okay, you just refer the question. What the question want? You just answer. Okay, here. Finally, here. Since this is the first degree or undergraduate level, so the answer, the length of the answer for each question is average. Okay, average 4 pages. Okay, for the essay uh, answer. Okay, you have I think section B. You are given 5 choices, and then you choose two, and then you have to answer that two. For each, you have to answer at least 4 pages. Of course, single spacing, font 12 times New Roman. Okay. And the question, I think no question. I think very clear. My explanation is just to not to not to call that the not to give the specific topic to be studied. You have to study all, but to some of the topic that you have to focus more, as I have highlighted just now. So, uh, yeah, I would like to advise you actually. Yeah, I would like to advise you. Firstly, you can have a. It's good to have group discussion, and then so you can call that expect, anticipate the question structure, and then so you just prepare what? Prepare the answer in point form that you can distribute among your friend in the group. And secondly, the most important here, before you start writing, okay, especially for the essay, before you start writing, you must draft the answer. You must outline all the main point, okay, in a called that in 1 page, called that sketch page for your answer. Okay, you can write that in the answer booklet. For example, first page can draw those the main point to the question that you intend to answer. Give answer two, identify. So you have to answer the what the easiest for you. Okay, the easiest question or the point that you understand the most. Okay, that you can answer the question. And said before you start again, you have to draft the main point. It's about take let's say 3 4 minutes, 3 4 5 minutes just to outline the main point there. And then okay, so you have to divide the the time, okay, accordingly, and then you start writing. Because we believe that from our experience, when you get the question and you straight answer the question, most of the student, I could say, most of the student will stuck on the way and they lost what they have memorized before. Okay, so while you fresh, see the question, you draft all the main point was to remember, and then the next minutes you just keep on writing based on the point that you have means drafted. Okay, but you don't draft your answers on on other sheet of paper, you can write on in the answer book. Okay, so we examiners, we can consider if the point you have drafted not included in your essay, in your answer, in your final answer, inshallah. Okay, so inshallah, thank you very much. Since no question, hopefully this have clarified all your doubt, all your confusion regarding our exam. So best of luck all. Bayar hajat banyak-banyak, not only for the exam. Ya, untuk keberkatan ilmu itu penting. Ya, doa tu, doa, ya Allah ya Tuhanku, berkatilah ilmuku, ya, untuk kebahagiaan kepadaku dan maybe anak keturunanku dan ummah di dunia dan juga akhirat. So you can pray doa that Allah will give up, that you give knowledge that can benefit you and your generation, okay, and the ummah, and then we can give the rahmah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the world and also in akhirah till the Jannah. That should be the doa. Don't stop only this level. Okay. Okay, so thank you very much. May Allah bless all of you. Malam Jumaat, bacalah apa-apa yang patut, Yasin ke, tahlil ke, selawat. Ada kurang 100 kali selawat. At least you have to recite selawat 100 times per day. Okay, you have to recite selawat 100 times per day. One selawat, Allah will selawat to you 10 times. Okay, if you recite 10 selawat, Allah will recite 10 times. So if you recite selawat 100 times, Allah will recite, inshallah, or bless you, okay, 1,000 times. This is the special of salawat, inshallah. So thank you very much. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi Sayyidina Muhammad. Okay, Arif, Anik ya? Anik, Anik. Open the camera, Anik.
Open the camera.
Pakai apa? Pakai jubah. Ada Anik, pakai jubah ke?
Tak ada. Sekejap. Okay.
Ada?
Ada, Doktor.
Okay. Di belakang gambar ke serban tu?
Kawan saya, Doktor.
Ha?
Waiz Sufi.
Waiz Sufi. Waiz mana Waiz? Siapa pakai serban tu? Siapa pakai serban?
Kawan saya, Doktor.
Waiz, not from our class.
Ya, this class juga. Ada kat sini.
Class. Siapa dia?
Waiz
Waiz
sila buka kamera.
Mana Waiz? Tu ada Waiz. Siapa nak doa ni?
Anik
Wami doa.
Yang pakai serban lah, Doktor. Yang pakai serban ni macam Waiz.
Waiz.
Ya, Doktor.
Yes, Wami doa. Okay.
Doa untuk
Doa.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Amin.
Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma iftah lana fa innaka khairul fatihin wa ighfir lana fa innaka khairul ghafirin wa rahmna fa innaka khairur rahimin. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, pemudahkanlah urusan kami untuk menjawab peperiksaan historical and philosophical of Malaysian education. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, Engkau memudahkanlah urusan kami dalam pembelajaran kami. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, Engkau berkatilah ilmu kami, Engkau panjangkanlah umur lecturer kami, Engkau memudahkanlah segala urusan kami dalam menuntut ilmu di universiti, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, Engkau jauhkanlah kami daripada membuang masa, jauhkanlah kami daripada melakukan perkara-perkara yang mampu merosakkan ilmu kami, Ya Allah.
Amin.
Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.
Amin. Thank you very much. So finally, tasbih kafarah and suratul as. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta